Last class, whatever we did, we are doing nothing other than integration. It has been observed that in the last classes, whatever we have solved the problem, they are only integration. It means that those who had learned the integrations, they can do the Fourier series. It means signal creation. Fourier series means we have to create the signal. Okay, you may feel that हमें क्यों करना है petroleum engineer? Be careful here. If you are a petroleum engineer, number of time we have to create the signal. To create the signal, we need the Fourier series. Someone may ask why we require the Fourier series, because we want stable signal. It may be seismic signal, it may be gravity signal, it may be voltage, it may be different signal, but we want a stable signal from where we can get the accurate information for our purpose. So if somebody asking why you are studying the Fourier series, you should give the answer. We are doing this Fourier series because we want to do this in our near future. So question was like this. Last class we had solved the problem, but second part was remaining here. The second part is exactly adjustment of the mathematics. Sometimes proof that, deduce that, prove that, it becomes sometimes difficult because we need to do the adjustment. We need to do the adjustment of the functions. We need to do the adjustment of the equations. We need to do the adjustment of the formulas. Okay. So first part we have discussed last class, how we have calculated A naught, we have calculated AN, we have calculated BN. Then we have put it the value of AN, BN, and A naught. Then we can get the Fourier series. And this series is called the sinusoidal series, and it has a stable signal. Means the graph will be in terms of sine and cosine form. Second part question is that we have to deduce the formula 5 square by 6 is equal to 1 plus 1 by 2 square plus 1 by 3 square plus 1 by 4 square here. Okay. Now come on here, we have find out the A naught only integrations. We have find out the AN only integrations. Okay. Again, we find out the BN. See, all our only integrations are here, and we have put it here. One more important thing is that now we should understand the even and odd function. What is the meaning of even and odd functions, right? And what about the variative functions? Okay. In case of odd function, f of minus x is equal to minus f of x. In case of even functions, f of minus x is equal to f of x only. There is no change in the sign conventions. Same thing in the variative function also. If it is a completely variative, then there is no change in the sign conventions are looking here, right? Because ultimately it is going to complete the same sign convention. This logic can be applied here. As I told you that how second part problem can be solved. Equation number 2 is coming. How it is coming? We find the value of A naught. We have find out the value of AN. We have find out the value of BN. Then we have put it the value of AN. Then we have put it the value of AN. We have find the value of A naught. Then we put in the Fourier series. Then we can get the equation number 2. Equation number 2 is called the Fourier series of the given functions. I hope now it is very clear cut for all of us. Done. So how it is coming? There is no such formula that. How it is coming? There is no such formula. As I told you that we have to do the adjustment. We have to do the arrangement as per the requirement. The question was asking that we have to deduce in some particular format. Means whatever we have learned the arithmetic, algebra, geometry, whatever we have learned, we have to do now adjustment. Hence we can get the our destination. The destination is we have to prove this one. Now, someone said that why you are doing in this adjustment only. This is a correct answer. That why you are doing this is Answer is that the solutions may come either this method, or if I read another book, it may get in another methods. So there may be number of methods. I don't mind. If you use this method, that method, and other methods, I don't mind it. See, I want going to cross-check that your calculations, your methodology, all the logic of the mathematics is correct. If it is correct, you can adopt any of the methods. So this method is one of the methods only. This book, the author is follow this one. But if you have some better method, you can do that also. So there is no any confusion that in this particular book, they have proof like this. Second book, they have proof like this. Third book, they have proof like this. All three are correct answer. So you can adopt any of the methods. So don't confuse in the case of methods how it is applied here. So what is f of x? F of x, here we assume that it is a periodic function, because the limit of the x is coming from minus 5 to 5 is complete circle is coming over here, right? Minus 5 to 5, it complete our definition. So f of x is the periodic functions. So it has some property, then property is going to be applied here. Same thing here, if I look here, f of minus 5 is equal to half f of minus 5 minus 0, 0, anyhow, if I put a 0, it is become automatically 0, plus f of minus plus 0. It means that the left hand side, I can arrange the right hand side arithmetically. If I look any of the arithmetic adjustment, see, look here. If I add it, I can get twice f minus 5 divided by 2, means I can get again same value. Means this is only one arrangement, one adjustment, okay, as per the requirement. And it is not necessary that I need to do only this arrangement. You can do other arrangement also. There is no any restriction. If you have some better idea, you can do that arrangement. I have nothing to say in all the cases. Now, all these functions are periodic function. This also periodic function. This also periodic. This also periodic functions. We assume that because it is coming from the Fourier series. Okay. Now, the property says that inside this, I can make it plus, I can make it minus. It is not going to change in case of periodic functions. But you may ask that why you are putting the phi is positive, this 0 is negative. Very simple answer. I required as per the question. So I have to adjust as per the question asking to us. They're asking that, prove that, deduce that. That's why I did, this is the plus and this is the minus. Again, you may ask why it is exactly same. Same answer is that I want that how I can reach my destination, that left hand side is 5 square by 6. So we need to find out the 5 square values. Okay, so from this hint here, because they are periodic functions, we can do this adjustment inside the function, negative, positive, it does not matter. So we do adjustment as per the requirement. If somebody changes the adjustment, means this proof that equation, then again I have to rearrange it. Okay, so we have to rearrange it. So sometimes this type of question is time consuming, because we need to understand that how we can approach, how we can do the adjustment, hence I can get the solutions. So this type of questions require the practice. But in the first part, we need to have the knowledge of integration only. Just put the value of a0, an and bn, then we can get a Fourier series. But second part, it required to understand the logic, how we can do the adjustment, then we can get the answer of the, they're asking, proof that, show that, reduce that. So this is, so some may have become here confusion how it is coming. Very simple as for the property of the periodic function, we can do that. Okay. Now, what is f of x? F of x is given to you x plus x square. And this function is valid because the range is given because minus 5 to 5. But not at the end points 5 and 5 due to open interval. Why? Because in the questions, it is talking about to the open interval. Look here. Look here. Minus phi less than x less than phi. It means that the x exclude minus phi and it exclude the phi. This is called the open interval. It exclude the boundary values phi and minus phi. That's why, since the function cannot be defined outside the value of x. What is the outside? We cannot find out the value of the function at phi. We cannot find out the value of function at minus phi. That's why this logic has been implemented here. This logic has been implemented here, because this function is valid only the values excluding minus phi and phi. Okay, that's why we have to apply this adjustment. Otherwise, the value of the f of x can be calculated by putting here directly. You may confuse that why sir is doing too much calculations to find out the value of f of minus phi. Direct put here f of minus phi is minus phi plus phi. Means it become another, because it is not defined in this range. That's why we have to do all this type of calculation. That's why we took here some plus minus value. Okay, here look here, minus phi. We take some plus minus values are here. So now f of x is f of x, but f of phi minus 0 is defined. Okay, so now put the value of phi here. I can get x is phi plus phi square, plus instead of x it is minus phi plus 0. Now put the value of this here. I can get minus phi plus minus phi whole square and half this one. So put the value of x phi, put the value of here minus phi. So after putting here we can get this, and simplification become here phi square. It means that the value of f of minus phi is equal to phi square. Why we are doing this adjustment? Because the function is not valid in minus phi and phi. Excluding the phi and minus phi, it is valid. It should be less than 180 degree. It may be 179, it may be 175, right? It is valid, but at 180 exactly, it is not going to be valid. That's why we cannot find out the value of f of minus phi. That's why we did all these adjustments are here. Now, putting the value of f of minus phi from equation number 3, which is equation number 3, this is our equation number 3, and put x is equal to minus phi in equation number 2, we get what is equation number 2? Equation number 2 is our, this is our equation number 2. This is minus phi. Put the value of its minus phi here. Put the value of here minus phi. See, right side is defined. Right? Right side is defined here. Look here. What is this here? Minus phi. Put here minus phi, minus phi, minus phi, minus phi, minus phi. I hope you know the value of cos minus phi. I hope you know the value of sine minus phi. Okay. So after putting the value of x and putting the value of f of minus phi, because this left hand side is represent f of x, look here, minus f of x is x plus x square. It can be written f of x, and f of x is not defined at minus phi and phi. Excluding these 2 points, it is defined. So here we cannot put directly f of minus phi, so we need to calculate this value. That's why we can put the value of this phi square. You may confuse that how it is coming phi square. This phi square is the value of f of minus phi. What is f of minus phi? We have estimated. Why you do this type of estimation? Because the function is not defined in minus phi and phi. Excluding these 2 points, it is here defined. Okay. Now, after putting this left hand side is f of x means f of minus phi. F of minus phi means this is the phi square. How come right hand side? Just put the value of x is minus phi. Put the value of x is minus phi. Put the value of x is minus phi. Put the value of x is minus phi and simplify it. Okay. After putting this one, this is constant for, so constant for 4 is 4 here. Okay. Cos minus phi. Cos is a even function. Okay. It is a -1. So -1, it is a plus. Okay. I can come up here cos twice phi means cos 360 degree. I hope you can find out the value of this. Okay. Same thing here means this is all value also become 1. This also become 1. This also become 1. I'm not talking the plus minus. I hope you can understand the plus minus here, sine and cos. But in case of sine phi is 0. Sine twice phi is 0. These are all zeros. So sine are become all 0, 0. Here cos are become 1, 1 by considering the sign convention. And cos is a even function. Okay. In even function, even inside the function is negative, it is become a positive. Okay. So it is become +1. It is become +1. It is become +1. Okay. So we can get phi square by 3 plus 4, 1 by 1 square plus 1 by 2 square because this is become 0 or means 1 plus 1 by 3 square, this is become 1. So this has been proved here. Now thing is that it is not difficult by looking this one, but sometimes it becomes very difficult to do the adjustment. That's why it is proved that, deduced that, so that this type of questions is required lots of practice. Okay, I hope you have understood this one. Now, example number 3, I am not going to discuss because you can do that because just the function has been changed, but it is a closed interval. Look here, x is less than equal, right? 5. Okay, so it is closed interval means the function is valid even at -5 and 5. And be careful that we are discussing here, textbook problem. It means that the limit is either coming from 0 to twice 5 or it is coming from -5 to 5. So there is no any difficulties. In the case of Fourier series creation because there is no any adjustment is required. But once we trying to apply it in our petroleum science, we need to understand how we have to do the transformation from non-standard to some standard form. Okay. So I leave this is as a your homeworks because it is already solved problem. You can do that. There is no second part. Come for the some questions. I will discuss this type of question, 4 to 5 questions in the. So exercise. Let me discuss the exercise. Simultaneously, we have to solve the exercise also. Find a Fourier series to represent this. The function is f of x is equal to phi minus x. And x is from 0 to twice phi, which is also standard one. It means that we need to just find out the value of a0 by the formula. We need to find out the value of an by the formula. We need to find out the value of bn by the formulas. Now, if you are not able to do the integrations, then you are not able to do the Fourier series. So please practice how we can do the integrations. Without integrations, you can get the big zero in the Fourier series. So I am requesting number of time, please do the practice of the integrations. So here what to do, I have to find out a0. What was the a0? So we have the formulas. What was the an and what is the bn? So we have to do integration from 0 to twice phi and 0 to twice phi. Please practice this one, right? And be careful at the beginning of the classes, I was discussing that what is the meaning of a0? What is the meaning of a1, b1? What is the meaning of a2, b2 and a3, b3? These are very much important to do the physical significance if we want to write interpretation in the petroleum science. See, some are representing the in terms of fundamental frequency, some are represent harmonic frequency, some are represent in terms of direct current, everything. So these are very much important because ultimately in the semester 4, we do continue these things up to semester 4. We have to apply all these things in our petroleum science. That time, I should not recall that what was the meaning of A0, what was the meaning of A1 and B1. This is going to play very important role to write the interpretation in our petroleum science and engineering. Second question here, find a Fourier series to represent x minus x square from this limit to that limit. So the functions are almost similar. In the previous, it was x plus x square. Now it is x minus x square, and limit also same here. So the first part is very simple. Again, we need to find our A0, AN, and BN. Then we have to put the value of A0, AN, and BN. After putting this, we can get one equation which is called a Fourier series. Now keep some equation number here. Now, since the function talking that this to this means it is included, right? But how it is defined or not, just you can find out for here. Just put the value of x is equal to minus 5 here. It is become minus 5, and it is become minus, this is 5 square, and if it is 5, it is 5 minus 5 square. I mean, it is from this to this. They are not talking about the closed and open interval. So we have to cross check here. It is defined or not during the calculation. Otherwise, we have to adjust as previous method. In the previous, how do we adjust like this? F of minus 5 is equal to half f of minus 5 minus 0 plus f of 5 minus 0. Same thing we can adjust here. Okay. Then put the value of f of x, right? X is equal to minus 5. So we can get the answer like this. We have to deduce this one. This is the Fourier series. After putting the value of x is equal to 5, okay, again, this sign becomes 0, this sign becomes 0, this sign becomes 0. But this cos become 1, this cos become 1, this cos become 1, all become positive. Plus minus plus minus. So we can get this answer. Please do practice this example 1 and 2 and let me know in the next class how it is not coming or not. Okay. I don't want to take too much time here because we need to do only integrations here. Right? See, all the problems are now it has become exponential function. Now it is become negative of exponential functions. So please practice all this unsolved problem. Look here. Nothing is new here. Just 0 to twice 5. Again minus 5 to 5. It means that they are all textbook example. Total 7 unsolved problem. Please try to solve all the 7 unsolved problem. If any difficulties, let me know that, and whatever difficulties we'll discuss them. So we have just completed very small part of the Fourier series. This was talking about the functions are continuous. The functions are not discrete. The functions are the continuous functions. So we did very smoothly. Okay, we did the integrations and we got the answer. Now, if function is not continuous, in that case, what to do? Now, you may feel that why you require the discontinuous function to find out the Fourier series. Very interesting questions. Be careful that in a petroleum engineering, nothing is continuous. If I talk about the engineering problems in the petroleum science, technology, engineering, everything is in the form of discontinuous. For example, if I take any type of geophysical survey, it may be oil logging, it may be the RFT data. During the drilling, we can collect some data also. This is called the rapid formation test. Second, it may be suppose resistivity log. So all the data we are going to record, it is become in the form of discontinuous form. See, any instrument, any machine, cannot record the continuous process. They record the discrete, means in some particular second, they can record some particular number of data point. This is called a sampling rate. Suppose sampling rate is 100. It means that that particular instrument can record 100 point in 1 second. So this is called the sampling rate is 100. If somebody talking sampling rate is 50, it means the particular instrument can record only 50 data point in 1 second. It means that everything is become in terms of discrete form. These are not continuous. So without continuous, we are not able to understand continuous, discontinuous concept. So we need to come one by one, step by step, to go up to our achievement up to petroleum engineer, how it can be applied. Now look here, the function is continuous and discontinuous. I hope all of us can understand from the semester 1 and 2 that is somebody talking that the function is continuous or not. Okay, the function is differentiable or not. I hope we can do all of us in the semester 1, whatever we have. So continuous function, discontinuous functions, I am not going to explain because we can understand the function is continuous or not. See, this type of graph, the line coming A to B, it is break, now it is become C to D. So it is not a continuous. The point of discontinuous is X naught. So these are the basic definitions in 10+2 level, and our first semester we discussed the function is continuous or not. So I don't want to discuss these definitions. Interesting here. What is the remarks is very much interesting here. It may be seen from the graph that a point at finite discontinuity x is not, there is a finite jump equal to BC in the value of the, it is not required. Leave it. Now look here. I am not going to discuss the theory part. I'll explain with the help of this example how we can solve the Fourier series if the function is not continuous in the interval A and B. Okay. How we can solve it? Okay, how we can solve it? Now, because I assume that all of us can understand function is continuous or not. Okay, we can understand function is continuous or not. So that's why I'm not discussing this theory part. Come up here. So the questions, find the Fourier series to represent the function given by C. F of x is minus k for minus phi to 0. Look, it is an open interval, means x cannot be 0, x cannot be minus phi, excluding minus phi and 0. So in that interval, the value of the function is k. Second, the value of the function is k, positive k, if the value is 0 and phi. It means again here excluding 0 and phi, it means it is not continuous. It is divided in the two parts, minus phi to 0 and 0 to phi. In between, because the 0 is excluded in the both interval, it means there is a discontinuity. Okay, the function is minus k if minus phi to 0, and function is positive k if it is 0 to phi. It is discontinuous at the point 0. Why? Because the 0 are not included in both the interval. So this is the only difference of continuous functions and discontinuous functions, how to find out the Fourier series. And logic is that I hope you know that how to find out the function is continuous or not. You did all these things in semester 1 or 2 or in the 10+2 level. Means you can prove that the function is continuous, the function is not continuous. Okay, you do that. But now we want to apply. Now here we observe that the value of the function is different at two different intervals. Here point of discontinuity is at x is equal to 0, where it is a break. The function f of x is not valid at x is equal to 0. So now, and we have to prove that this part. Now, you may feel that is there any different formula of a naught, an and bn to find out if it is a continuous function? No. There is no any different formula to find out the a naught, to find out the an, to find out the bn. The formula of a naught, an and bn is the same. But we have to identify the point of discontinuity. Hence, we can do two parts. So that's why some of the books, which is advanced level book, see, this is the fundamental book I have given to all of you, because we need to understand first fundamental. The fundamental book, they're writing very nicely that the function defined in the two or more sub-range means there is a discontinuity between two ranges. But some of the book, they are not going to mention the discontinuity, because they assume that you know the basic thing. But we are beginners, so we should discuss all these things. So one function is here, second function is here according to their range. Solution, it is given to all of us. Okay, now a naught is equal to 1 by 5 integration minus 5 to 5, because it is total is minus 5 to 5. But in between there is a discontinuity, so we have to break up it is in 2%. Minus 5 to 0 plus 0 to 5. But the definitions of a naught cannot be changed. The definitions of an cannot be changed. The definition of bn cannot be changed. We have to write the first our definitions, whatever we have, what was the a naught, what was the an, what was the bn, we have to write as per the our defined definitions. So at first we write a naught is equal to 1 by 5, which is minus 5 to 5. Okay, f of x dx. But if I look our questions, the function is defined in minus 5 to 0 and 0 to 5, and it is not valid at x is equal to 0. So we have to break up in two portions. So we have break up this one, look here. Same, this can be written here 1 by 5 minus 5 to 0. Minus 5 to 0, the value of the function is minus k. Look here. In interval minus 5 to 0, the value of the function is minus k. So I replace the f of x by minus k plus 0 to 5, 0 to 5, and the value of f of x is k here. So it is 0 to 5k. And what is k? K is a constant, which is non-zero constant. I hope I can do these integrations. I hope I can do this integration. After doing the integrations, we have put the limit and the value of the a naught becomes 0. Some of the book, they are not discussing this is separately. They discuss with the continuous function itself. But for the petroleum engineers, it is very much important, because the instrument can record in some in 1 second some data point. After that it become a discontinued, then again it starts the recording. So there is a discontinued points, and we have to identify that, and we have to find out the signals as per the requirement. Same thing here. In case of an also, formula will be minus 5 to 5. Okay. Then I have to break up this, and I have to put the value of f of s accordingly, minus k, here it is k. Then if I do the calculation, again, an is equal to 0. Why I'm not doing calculations? I assume that all of us can do the integrations. All of us can do the integration by parts. All of us can understand the value of sine nx if the value of n is from 0 to infinity. So I assume that you can put the limits. I assume that you can do the integration. I assume that you can do the integration. After putting the limit, I can get again an becomes 0, a naught 0 and an also 0. What about now come in the bn? Again, as per the formula we have put it here, but there is a point of discontinuity. And what? At x is equal to 0. That's why we took here minus 5 to 0 and 0 to 5. Again, we do the integration here. So after doing the integration, look here. Now put the value of x. Okay, put the value of x from minus 5 to 0. Okay. If it is 0, if x is equal to 0, we can get 1 is the fix. So it is 1 by n coming directly. See, if I put x is equal to 0 here, cos 0 means 1. Now it is independent of n. Okay, so it is become directly 1 by n. So now next put the value of lower limit minus 5. So we know the value of cos minus 5 or plus 5 doesn't matter because it is a even function. So it is minus 1 to the power n. So this first is coming by putting n is equal to 0. Second is coming from x is equal to minus 5. Same thing here. If I put x is equal to 5, I can get minus 1 to the power n. If I put x is equal to 0 here, cos 0 means 1, so it is 1 by n. So this is the value of this is the value of this. After simplifications, I can get this one. Okay. Now, very interesting case is here. Why I'm discussing this one. After putting the value of all these things, I have got 1 by 5k, 2 by n minus 2, minus 1 to the power n this. Now look here. It is depend upon the value of n. Here, if n is here even number, if n is even number, suppose n is equal to 2, what happened? It become a positive. It means 2 by n minus 2 by n means bn become directly 0. If n is minus 4 or n is 4, it is again even number. So minus 1 to the power 4, it means it is a positive. Then it is 2 by n minus 2 by n. It means if n is even number, the bn is equal to 0. A bn be 0 ho jayega. What about if n is odd number? If n is odd number, suppose 1. Suppose n is equal to 1. What happened? 2 into minus 1. It means it is become a 2 by n plus 2 by n. So I can get here 4 by n. I can get 4 by n. Same thing if I put n is equal to 3, 5, 7 like this, I can get it is always become a 4 by n, 4 by n. So it is become bn is equal to 4k by n5. So bn has two values. If it is n is even number, so it is 0. If n is odd number, I can get these values. So what happened? An become completely 0, a naught become completely 0, and bn become conditional. If n is even number, it is 0. If it is odd number, so I can get this is our cases are here. So this was our Fourier series. So here in our Fourier series, a naught is 0, it is 0. What is an? An to 0. This first term, second terms become 0. Now this bn becomes 0 if n is even number. So we have to mention that n should be a odd number. So ultimately we can get f of is equal to n is equal to 1 to infinity bn sine nx. So I can put now value of n is 1, 3, 5, 7 like this here. I can get the value of b1. I can get the value of b3. I can get the value of b5 because b2 becomes 0 and b4 becomes 0 if n is even number here. So this is our Fourier series. How it is coming? Because b2 0, b4 0. What is the b1? From here I can get 4k by 5. What is the b3? If I put here 4k by 3, 5. Same thing, b4 becomes 0 because even number. So I have to put n is equal to 5. I can get here 4k by 5, 5. Like so, I can get all these values here. Okay. So if I do the simplified, this is our equation number 2. This equation number 2 is called our Fourier series. Now second part is that putting x is equal to 5 by 2. What was the second part question? Oh, okay, we have to prove this one. Now put the value of x is equal to 5 by 2. How I can put directly? You may confuse in the previous example and this example. Previous example was that at x is equal to -5, the function was not valid. That's why we are not able to put directly. So we have to do the adjustment. But here x is equal to 5/2. It is a defined. The function is valid. Why? Because -5 to 0 and 0 to 5. दोनों केस में ये valid है. So I can put directly here x is equal to 5/2. Okay. If I put here, I can get the values, everything here. It is 1. This also we can get plus minus 1. So according to sign convention, first, second, and third quadrant, we can get these values. Look here. Put the value. So I can get this is 5/2. I can get k, which is in range. Why it is coming k? Look here. This k, because x is equal to 5/2 is between 0 to 5. X is equal to 5/2 is in 0 to 5. So value of the function will be only k. If it is in between, it is become minus k. Okay. Now, how you decided why you are putting the x is equal to 5/2? Why not 5/4? Just look the equation here. If I look this equation directly here, I want to simplify the value of this sine function. If I put here, suppose x is equal to 5/4, you may ask the question that why you are putting x is equal to 5/2 here. There is no logic written in the book that आपको ये put करना है. Logic is that we need to do the simplification of the calculations. If I put a 5/4, so we have to here sine 5/4, sine 3 into 5/4 like this. So it requires lots of calculations. If I put sine is 90 degrees, so we have the values. And left hand side is simple k because it is in between 0 to 5. So we have these values: sine 5/2, sine 3/2, sine 5/2. So accordingly, we have the value of this. We have the value of this. So we can get these values. Okay, this k cancel out. So we have these values. After simplifying, we can get this is our results. So today I'll stop here, but I'll discuss if you have some difficulties here. Some is writing some comments. Okay. I'll discuss this one. Why we are taking -5, not 5. Very interesting.